legends retold. Join the battle, the war's just begun. Tune in now, Gman's the one.
Hey everyone, welcome. How you doing? Hope you guys had a great weekend, and I hope you are getting off to a great new week. What are we gonna do today? Today, we're gonna talk about the downgrading of some tier 4 robots and weapons, I guess. Things like the Fenrir and the Aojun and the Ares and the Hades, and I'm not gonna name them all, guys. There's a few that got, let's say, transitioned from tier 4, which is the highest tier, to tier 3. Now, I don't know why those particular robots got downgraded. I think things like the Hawk, things like the Fafnir, maybe the Orochi, possibly the Scorpion. There's a few things that maybe, like, especially why the Fenrir, I don't really know. So I'm not quite sure what the logic is in those particular robots. I will mention that many of those have ultimates already. So the Fenrir, the Phantom, the Ares, they already have ultimate versions. The Leech got downgraded as well. So maybe it has something to do with that. I'm not quite sure, guys. Yeah, I don't know, I don't get it. Anyways, let's talk about what it means for us players in the game. So we're gonna start off with the cost to upgrade, okay? Looking at this chart that I've got up here, we can see that a tier 1 robot cost 88,700,000 silver to upgrade. And that next column there, guys, that's 39 days. This is with no VIP, no discounts, no nothing. 39 days, that's ridiculous. No wonder people use gold to upgrade, right? Even though I don't really recommend that. Anyways, looking at the tier 3 robot, it's only 61,700,000 in only 18 days. That's a lot faster, and it is approximately, what is the number? 27 million cheaper. Wow, that's kind of a big deal. Going to Mark II, the same story, guys. Tier 4, 407 million to upgrade. Tier 3, 280,500,000. Wow. The time is almost the same, 19 days versus 15 days. But that silver difference is like 126 million difference. And then if you combine the two, both Mark 1 and Mark 2, then you're coming up with like 153 million difference in silver. So it's a lot cheaper, in a sense, to do a tier 3 robot. And it's like 25 days faster. And by the way, guys, I'm getting this information from online from the War Robots wiki. So fingers crossed, it is accurate. All right, I'm not going to go into the weapons. It is a similar story. They are cheaper, much cheaper to do, just like the robots. So let's transition, though, guys, into what it means in terms of Intel. So we all know that, Pixonic added Intel. I don't know how long it's been, 2, 3, 4 months now. Maybe it's been a little bit longer, but they added Intel to the game. And let's jump into my hangar and let's go look at it. So here we are in Intel. let's pick the Hawk. The Hawk is an easy one to work with because of this description is a little confusing and how it applies to every single robot. So, first off, if you have a tier 4, well, if you have a Hawk, which is tier 4, then you get these bonuses, right? You get these bonuses. And if you have 100%, what I have here is 100%. You're going to see that there is a 20% weakening, I think that means reduction, of the effects applied to you by this robot's abilities. I don't really know exactly what that means for the Hawk, because it's not its weapon, right? Its weapon is this bottom one, right? The bottom one is the 30% reduction in damage received from the built-in weapons and equipment. And equipment, guys. So mounted guns, weapons, and the built-in weapon, 30% reduction when I fight. So when I fight a Hawk, I get that bonus. Bonus damage against this robot. I also get a 25% bonus when I fight them. So not only do I get a reduction in damage taken, I deal out more damage as well. Weakening of effects. This top one is the more confusing of the three. And I'm not sure if that has something to do with the reflector shield. Maybe when I shoot the reflector shield, I get 20% less damage reflected back at me. I'm not quite sure if that's what that means. But anyways, something like that, I believe. So that's a tier 4 robot. It's a Hawk. All tier 4 robots have that. So let's look at the Typhon real quick, right? These all have the same numbers, 20, 25, 30. 20, 25, 30, right? They all have that. And if you don't have a full 100%, then you get a partial like this guy. I have nothing because I never fight these guys because these guys don't exist in Champion League. Yeah, why is that a tier 4 robot? That should be like a tier 2 robot. Anyways, hope I don't hurt anybody's feelings. Anyways, so that's tier 4. Looking at a tier 3 robot, and you can pick anybody. Let's pick the Hades, which was recently demoted, or the Fenrir. Let's do the Fenrir. This is the fan favorite, right? Look at that, guys. Nothing. No bonuses, positive or negative. So that means when I fight that Hawk, he doesn't get a damage reduction. So I don't have a built-in weapon, but I have mounted weapons. So there's no 30% reduction in damage taken from me, right? And there is no 25% bonus against me. He doesn't get anything. So in a sense, I'm getting a 25%, I guess you could call it maybe durability buff, and I'm getting a 30% damage buff. I know that's not really 100% accurate, but I believe that you can think of it in those terms. And so, yeah, it kind of puts us on more equal footing, right? Going back to the tier 4, let's go back to the Hawk, right? So when I'm in a tier 3 robot, doesn't matter if it's a Fenrir, the Hades, Haichi, a Mender, right? You don't get this guy flying the Hawk does not get any of these bonuses. If he fights another Hawk, he does though, right? He gets these bonuses if he fights another Hawk or another tier 4 robot, but he doesn't get anything fighting a tier 3 robot. And I don't really get anything either, not directly. I get it indirectly because his bonuses are nerfed. So that's the way I'm looking at it. So guys, you can see that there's a big advantage with the cost of upgrading, the amount of time it takes to upgrade, and there's some intel. Apparently, there is some bonuses nerfing of the enemy's bonuses when they fight me. Of course, if they're in a, if it's my Fenrir against their Fenrir, we're on equal footing. Nobody's getting bonuses either which way. But if they're a tier 4 robot, then they're kind of nerfed in a way. Now, let's go look at weapons real quick, because it's the same story. And let's just pick the Wasp. This is easy. It's right here. I think it's easy for me to communicate. Reduction of the damage received from this weapon, 20%, right? And then weakening of the effects applied to me by this weapon. So I believe the top one here is the raw damage this deals with each shot. The second one, I believe, is the corrosive damage over time part of the equation. So if I fight someone, if I'm going up against someone using a Wasp, then I get a 20% reduction in the raw damage and a 30% reduction in the damage over time. At least that's the way I'm understanding it. If it's not right, or you guys are understanding it differently, let me know. Now, let's go look at a weapon that was just downgraded. Let's pick the Scotty. So, we can see here, nothing, no bonuses either which way, right? So if this guy, if I'm using this and I'm fighting a guy with, I guess it doesn't really matter. Does it really matter if they're using, it doesn't really matter if they're using tier 3 or tier 4. They're gonna get the full brunt of the damage that this does via the raw, like the raw straight up damage, right? The 4950 that it does. And let's see what we got here. The target freeze, its movement speed is lowered, incoming damage is increased. You see all that stuff? So I believe that is the second part of the equation, that 30% reduction. You're not gonna, so this is not impacted by that, right? So if I fight a guy with the Wasp, since I have 100% intel on the Wasp, I'm gonna get these reduction bonuses, and I'm using the Scotty, and he's not going to get any advantage over me in terms of intel. So he may have a stronger weapon, like if he's got a Screamer or the new Mogwan or whatever, he's going to have maybe a raw damage advantage over me, but he doesn't get any additional nerfs or buffs, I guess you could say, against me because I'm using the Scotty. Whereas just the other day, before this update landed, 10.8 landed, he would have gotten this 20% and 30% bonus against me for using the Scotty. So I hope you guys can kind of see, that's the way I see this, that's the way I'm interpreting it. Of course, I don't know, this game is sometimes overly complicated. I think even the developers don't have it all figured out, because this seems like there's so many things that rely on other things. There's so many things that are interconnected. I don't know how this affects drones, if it does affect drones. I don't know if there's any impact on motherships. I don't really know I don't think any of that stuff's connected. I think it's just purely the robots and the weapons. But the way I see it, guys, I'm going to tell you, I am seriously bummed to see some of my favorite robots. Man, the game is really slow. To see some of my favorite robots go from the highest tier and be downgraded to the tier below, because it's kind of like a little bit of a slap in the face. But if I cool myself, think clearly, I can actually see this as an advantage, especially if you're thinking about buying these or upgrading these or building these in the workshop. I think you're gonna see that there is it's not bad. It's not a bad thing. It's not, if you want to run the Fenrir, keep running the Fenrir. It hasn't changed. It's not. It definitely has not gotten weaker. It's just kind of weaker in name because of the tier 4 to tier 3 thing. Anyways, guys, I think I'm going to stop there. Hopefully you get my point. Hopefully I'm correct. So let me know if you guys think that I'm wrong or off base, or you have interpreted this differently. Let me know, okay? You guys be nice to one another out there in the world. I'll catch up with you soon. Bye for now.